Yeah. So the other one is women getting into rowing, like misconceptions around why it could be good or bad for them. And one of the big ones that I get is that, you know, they're worried that it's very like upper body focused.
Yeah.
And a lot of women these days, well, just generally would prefer that they're doing workouts that are going to hit their lower body. They want to work their arms and their core and things, but that is predominantly lower body. So has it changed your physique to something you don't like?
No, I am constantly trying to put muscle mass on,
Okay.
and because we do so much long endurance stuff, I find it really difficult.
Okay.
But as I say, it is predominantly a lower body exercise. Like you're only using 10% of the power comes from your arm. So
Yes.
if you are worried about getting a muscular upper body, you'll have to do a lot of rowing to get there. And I suspect doing a couple of sessions a week on the indoor rower is not going to do that.
Yes.
It will give you a really good overall toned look.
Yes.
But it's not going to build muscle to that extent.
Yeah.
You have, to build muscle, you have to lift weights.
Yes.
If you want to really grow muscle mass. So I definitely don't have that as a fear.
So you're not fearful as a woman that you're going to get a horrendous, physique from rowing, basically?
No, absolutely not. No.
Cool.
I wish I could put on more muscle, if I'm honest.
Okay, and in terms of fitness, have you heard? So I have a lot of people that feel that the results come quite fast, like you've said, especially with their cardiorespiratory fitness. So I had a lady recently who only came in had to bring an inhaler into the class, but within 4 weeks ish. I had a conversation with her and said, how are you getting on? Because she was quite quiet, and she said, oh, you know what, it's just amazing, like I have not needed to use my inhaler anymore.
Okay.
So I feel quite passionately that rowing builds some really strong lungs, right?
Absolutely. Like rowers are probably one of the kind of the athletes that are known for big lungs, big heart, because you've got to pump. We're working at just a slightly submaximal level for a long period of time. So as much as our race is only, men's 8's the fastest boat, 5.5 minutes, just under, to the women's single is 7 minutes-ish. At that period, you're working really, really maximal. So the capacity that you need in your lungs to get oxygen around your body to all the muscles, because you're using all the muscles, it's really demanding of your lungs, so you are going to be using them really efficiently. Because your body's going to be demanding it to break down that capacity you're building up.
And if someone's rowing, one of the things that I think is difficult, a little bit more difficult to understand when you start out rowing compared to cycling or running, is that rhythm piece and the breathing piece and managing that as you work. So learning to, I kind of try to explain it as people recover whilst they move, like, because you can hide those things when you're used to the rhythm of the run or your rhythm of cycling. But in rowing, it's a different rhythm. You've got a bit harder work and a bit longer to rest. So have you got any tips on how, when you're really hurting when you're rowing and you don't want to stop, what should you do?
I think really come focused in on yourself. So kind of try and concentrate on one part of your body. I often find that helps. So if I'm starting to really hurt, then I just think about how I'm pressing my feet and just becoming very mindful, I guess, is a very big word around at the moment. And exercise is a great place to be mindful. And obviously you're using your whole body in rowing, so there's lots of different areas of your body you can be mindful of. So when you're running, it's just really your feet hitting the pavement. But with this, you could think about how the kind of the stretch on your fingers from the handle is making it feel, or have you got enough load in your kind of your glutes and your legs, or do you feel like you're pressing your feet nice and firmly? So I think just zoning in on one area of your body can often just narrow your vision and your mind, rather than just trying to kind of in the mentality of this really hurts and I don't really
Yeah.
want to be here anymore.
Yes.
And also breaking through those barriers. When you break through them, you will feel
Yeah.
awesome. And
Yeah.
you know, and if you stop, that'll play on your mind for the rest of the day. And whereas if you don't, you'll be like, actually, I really fought through the pain there, and
yes, that's big. That's
Yeah,
really big.
really
Really
powerful.
big.
Yeah.
And so going back to what you said about focusing on one body part, is that like a distraction, sort of from the pain?
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I think that's a really good tip. Burning, then just focus on leg drive.
Yeah.
Or focus on that connection, or just anything to take your mind off that pain.
Yeah. Or
Get
technical point or something.
technical point,
Keeping your
posture,
arms straight. And, yeah.
and then maybe you get through another 10 strokes or a small segment, and then you're
Breaking
already
it
there.
down in your mind, as
Yeah.
well, the time or the meters you've got to go.
And if someone's doing, in rowing terms, if someone's doing the 2K, the gold standard test, to measure their own fitness, when should someone do that? If they've started rowing a little bit, should they use it early on in training? Or, if someone wants to sort of measure their fitness levels, or would you recommend they train for a little bit first? Should people fear doing the 2K as much as everyone shouts that it's horrible? Or what would you say to someone just starting out?
I would say as long as you've got the basics of the technique, so you can get the most out of your body at that time. So if you've got the basics of the technique and you've been advised on that, then why not do it when you first start? Because then, when you do it in a couple of months' time after you've done some training, then you'll see the benefits. Whereas, the 2K, obviously people talk about it being painful, and absolutely it is. Rowing's it is a painful sport. I'm not gonna lie to you, but it is a great sport, and so that's why I'm hopefully going to my third Olympics. Can't seem to give it up. So I can tell you that it is great and it is addictive. But I'd say, with that, it's in terms of pacing the 2K, it's really important, and that you'll get more out of it, and you will get more enjoyment out of it if you pace it right. So it's very common that people go off too hard because they think, I feel great, I feel really strong, and the numbers they're seeing are really good. But you're going to hit the wall really soon, and the pain will come, and so you have to think, pace it well, and try and go faster in the last 1,000 meters than the first 1,000 meters, because if you go off too hard, you're going to build lactate in your legs and in your body, and you won't be able to kind of get rid of that. It'll just keep building. Whereas you want to get to your peak lactate at the end. So I would say build and get faster throughout the 2,000 meters rather than go off too hard and then get slower. And that's you'll get the best time doing that as well.
Yeah.
The other way around, we call it negative splitting. So starting out a bit slower and then getting faster. And then, it's the best way to get physically out of your body.
And if someone's new to rowing, can you explain lactate?
So lactic acid is the byproduct of your muscles working.
Yes.
You'll probably know more about the scientific things around it, but it's that burning feeling you get in your muscles. And it's basically you get to the point where the oxygen breaks down the lactic acid. Am I right in saying that? So obviously when your body's under stress, when you're working your muscles really hard, and also your heart and lungs are beating, like breathing really hard, the oxygen's trying to get around the body to flush out that lactic acid, because it's like it's a toxic substance. You don't want it in your body, so you're trying to get rid of it. But that's the feeling that means you're working well and you're working hard.
Yes, and that goes back to the phrase "no pain, no gain," right?
Yeah.
So that for me, it's not it's not something that I think that something to be worried about, because as you've said, that as you're knocking down those barriers and you're pushing through times and distances that you couldn't do before, then you're feeling better and you're feeling a sense of achievement, and it motivates you to push on. But how much in rowing terms is fitness related, and how much of it at your level or your experience at any level is the ability for you to be able to go through that?
Oh, massively. And I think in life and in sport, the mind is our biggest challenge, because it's what the mind often, with most people who unless they've trained their mind really, really well over many years, it will give up for the body. The human body is an incredible machine, and I'm always fascinated by the human body's limits. I think sometimes it doesn't seem like it has any limits. I've read a lot of books from ultra runners, ultra endurance athletes, and you just think it's incredible, and it is about training the mind. So but also your body will get more used to the lactate acid so it'll adapt to that.
Yeah.
So through our season, for example, in the winter it's a lot of like low intensity training, and then in the summer we do more high intensity, shorter workouts that will produce more lactic acid but over a short amount of time. Trying to do that work in the winter, I would be like, oh God, it feels horrendous. I just feel like I can't, like my body has no lactate buffer. It hits I might get to 10 millimoles of lactate in the winter.
Yeah.
That's just a measure of lactate that we get given, and that will feel like absolute maximal to me.
Yeah.
But in the summer, I could produce 15 millimoles of lactate, and I have the same kind of feeling because my body gets more used to it and gets more efficient at clearing it.
Yes.
And it's just exactly the same if you take this up, and you will become more efficient. Your body will adapt, and it'll adapt really quickly.
So this is the same. This is the same journey in terms of fitness improvement to somebody that is, like we talked about already, like someone that's mid-40s, 50 years old, or at any level. This is the journey, right? It's a journey for an Olympic athlete. It's the journey for anyone that wants to get fitter at any level.
Yeah.
That these things are things you have to go through, right?
Yeah.
It's just part of the process. And the more you embrace it, and the tougher you get around it, the quicker the results come.
Yeah, a lovely example I have is my dad. And so my dad literally never used to do any form of exercise. He used to love cars, and that was his kind of passion.
Good man.
Yeah. But after I went to my first Olympics, he decided to take up rowing, and he was just I think he was 58 at the time. And he took it up for the first time, and then he was going down to the rowing club and going on the water a couple of times a week, but not doing like masses of it. And then he decided he was going to do more at home and try and get fitter. So I had an ergo at home, so he started using that, and now he trains 5 times a week.
Wow.
And he says, he'll do half an hour and sometimes an hour on the indoor rowing machine. And he said, I feel like 10, 15 years younger, and he's got so much more energy. And it is a sport, and it is a mode of exercise that you can take up at any age. And he's rowing with guys who are in their 80s, So it is a sport you can do long into past retirement age. So that's what is great about it. And
has he done it? Has he competed yet?
He has,
Bless him.
He loves it, and it's amazing just to see the difference in him. And I've been trying to tell him for years, exercise makes you feel better, mentally, physically, everything. But
I think people are scared. People are scared to start.
Yeah.
And that's why, to be honest, one of the things that was important to me, at the engine room, is to facilitate people's entry into either re-exercising after a long period of time out. So if you were fit at school or in your 20s and then you haven't trained for 10 years and you're worried because you don't want to go and have that impact that might be created in other forms of exercise, then the rower's the best tool out there, right? It's just the best thing to get you started. And what's nice is I find there's an equilibrium between someone learning the skill of the movement and getting fitter at the same time. So what's cool is because they're learning it, that's the distraction. A bit like what you said about the lactate, and you focus on just the leg drive or one small element of the stroke, just for a little bit of time to distract you. Because people are distracted by the learning process, they're getting fitter at the same time, and then they're just building hopefully a bit of lactate tolerance as well. And seeing the benefits, seeing weight loss, seeing body shape change, all pretty quickly, because just keep going through that correction, and that what that shape should look like makes you use your body more, rather than on a bike on a bike that's got a weighted wheel that's going to give you some momentum. Hence probably why you guys work 2 to 1, 1.5 to 1 on that. And then on a treadmill, often the belt, obviously the belt is propelling you. On a rower, you've got to be the machine, right? You have to bring it every single stroke, every single time. And that is tough for people to tolerate and get used to. But I feel like it's also an accelerant of fitness, an accelerant of results, because you're doing it all the time.
You'll get more, quicker fitness gains on this machine than anything else, for sure. Yeah.
Cool. Thanks very much.
Pleasure. Thanks for having me.